Have you ever wondered why your cozy front yard looks suspiciously like a crime scene from an 80s detective show? We spend thousands on landscaping, dreaming of turning our backyard into the Garden of Eden. But nature looks at our efforts as an amusing attempt at suicide. While you lovingly trim the hedges, your leafy pets are waging a hidden war. They use chemical weapons that could easily knock out any uninvited guest. Forget about guns and knives. That ordinary flower in your garden bed can be a far more effective tool for elimination than a professional hitman's arsenal. Take the charming aconite, for example. Gardeners absolutely love it for its deep, striking blue petals. Back in medieval Europe, they called it Wolfsbane. And trust me, that name wasn't just for dramatic effect. Sap contains an alkaloid called Aconite. It absorbs through your skin faster than you can even realize your mistake. Just a couple of milligrams is enough for your heart to decide it's going into early retirement. Meanwhile, your entire nervous system goes on a total strike. This isn't just a plant. It's a natural poison vial, patiently waiting for the day you decide to weed the flower beds without gloves. And what about the castor oil plant? Those massive, exotic leaves look like the perfect decor for a tropical oasis. But inside them hides Ricin. This substance is 6,000 times more toxic than cyanide. If someone decided to sprinkle a few castor seeds into your morning coffee, your chances of survival would be exactly zero. The dark irony is that we voluntarily plant this biological weapon right under our bedroom windows, all just to show off its unusual foliage to the neighbors. We are literally building a minefield around ourselves. We carefully water and fertilize it, making sure the poison gets even more concentrated. Even the innocent-looking foxglove is hiding a dark secret. Those bell-shaped flowers that look so cute on your social media feed are packed with digoxin. This compound forces your heart to beat in such a chaotic rhythm that any EKG turns into a string of meaningless scribbles. It seems nature decided to grant its most elegant creations the ability to kill with a single touch. 95. We are terrified of spiders and snakes. But we forget that the deadliest threat might just be quietly rustling its leaves while you sip tea on the porch. Maybe it's time to rethink our approach to gardening, or at least start wearing thick gloves before touching this botanical collection of death. Because every bush in your yard isn't just a decoration. It's a masterfully disguised laboratory where nature has spent decades perfecting the art of eliminating unwanted variables. And while you're planning which new shrub to plant this weekend, remember one thing. Some of them already have plans for you. That leaves just one question. Are you really ready to get up close and personal with killers who don't even try to hide their intentions simply because they don't have to? Imagine you decide to take shelter from a sudden Caribbean downpour under a picturesque tree. Its fruits look suspiciously like appetizing little apples. Fast forward an hour. Your skin is covered in blisters like you just lost a wrestling match with hot lava. And your t-shirt is practically melting off your back, as if eaten away by acid. Meet the Manchineel tree. It is the botanical equivalent of a B-movie villain who decided evolution designed it for the total genocide of all living things. This plant isn't just toxic. It embodies the very concept of absolute intolerance for its neighbors. Sap contains phorbol, a complex ester. The moment it touches your skin, it triggers an explosive cascade of inflammation. But here's the clever part. This chemical is completely water-soluble. All it takes is a little rain to wash the milky sap off the leaves and onto your head. Just like that, you are dealing with severe chemical burns. The Manchineel is quite literally weaponizing the weather, turning rain into a biological weapon of mass destruction. But why would a tree resort to such extreme measures? The answer lies in survival strategy. In the tropics, resources can be incredibly scarce. In a world where every leaf is someone else's lunch, the Manchineel chose not to bribe herbivores with sweet nectar or symbiosis. It chose pure intimidation. This tree is the sociopath of the plant kingdom. 95. It absolutely refuses to share its space with anyone. Its poison is so aggressive that even the sawdust from cutting its wood can cause temporary blindness and severe swelling of your airways. What's crazy is that the fruits of this monster actually contain compounds that can be neutralized if prepared perfectly. But testing that theory is about as smart as tickling a tiger's whiskers on its lunch break. Locals, who know all too well how aggressive this green menace is, have spent centuries coating their arrowheads in its sap. Nature engineered the Manchineel to turn any attempt at interaction into a fatal mistake. Essentially, the tree has created its own exclusion zone. Not even the most arrogant insects dare to cross that line. Every single cell in this plant is soaked with hatred for any living thing foolish enough to disturb its peace. And while you stand there admiring its lush canopy, deep inside its tissues, a complex synthesis of toxins is quietly unfolding. Toxins that are fully prepared to turn your relaxing vacation into a medical thriller. It makes you wonder, what exactly happened during natural selection that forced a plant to become so utterly inhospitable that even the sunlight reflecting off its leaves feels like a threat? Now, let's go back to ricin, hiding inside those speckled castor seeds. This stuff is an absolute nightmare for biochemists. Picture a protein that acts like a high-precision machine designed solely to shut down cellular production. Once it enters your body, it sneaks into your ribosomes and literally pulls the plug on protein synthesis. Your cells lose the ability to repair themselves, and inevitably, they die off. This isn't just poisoning. It's a catastrophic system failure of all vital processes, and we still don't have an effective antidote for it. The dark irony is that this monstrous chemical is locked inside a plant that many gardeners consider a landscaping highlight, all thanks to its weird, almost alien shape. But the castor plant isn't the only deadly beauty on this list. Think about the oleander. Its delicate flowers seem like the pure embodiment of Mediterranean romance. But hiding in its sap are cardiac glycosides. If they accidentally make their way into your bloodstream, they can easily cause your lungs to stop working. Even inhaling the smoke from burning oleander branches can be incredibly dangerous. Humans have exploited these traits for centuries, turning beautiful shrubs into the silent guardians of their darkest secrets. And what about Bella? The name literally translates to beautiful lady. But behind that poetic facade hides atropine. In tiny doses, atropine saves lives in the ICU. But the line between medicine and poison here is thinner than a razor blade. Make one small mistake in concentration, and you are looking at severe hallucinations, total disorientation, and a paralyzed nervous system. It is a classic example of nature playing a very dangerous game with us, offering the illusion of beauty in exchange for fatal proximity. We are so used to seeing plants as passive background scenery. But in reality, they are fighting a relentless, never-ending war for survival. They can't just run away from a predator. So evolution equipped them with chemical arsenals that are miles ahead of many modern lab creations. Every time you inhale the scent of an exotic flower or admire the strange texture of a leaf, remember this. You are a guest in the home of living organisms that have spent millions of years perfecting their defense mechanisms. Maybe it's time to trade that look of pure admiration for a little bit of caution. Because in the world of flora, politeness and safety are concepts that rarely go hand in hand. What green thread is waiting for you just around the bend of your garden path, right while you're busy picking out the perfect fertilizer for your own little, deadly arsenal? Evolution isn't some evil genius plotting our destruction. It's more like a ruthless accountant obsessed with efficiency. Nature isn't striving to be cruel. It's just optimizing its resource management. If a plant spends its energy synthesizing highly complex toxins, it means that's a better investment than growing thorns or trying to negotiate with pests. We call it devious. But for the forest or the meadow, it's just the cold, hard math of survival. Out here, murder is just a byproduct of fighting for a place in the sun. When we look at this green world, we desperately want to see harmony. But what we are really watching is an endless debugging process of biological software. Every poison is a successfully passed endurance test in a brutally competitive environment. Over millions of years, those who failed to learn how to defend themselves were simply deleted from the database of living organisms. We humans love to think of ourselves as the crown jewel of creation. We conveniently forget that our instincts are just ancient algorithms, written during an era when the main metric for success was simply not dying before dawn. But that brings up an uncomfortable question. Do we, modern city dwellers, even have those built-in safety fuses left? We doom scroll through news feeds for hours, completely ignoring real signals of danger. Our sensors are still calibrated for the roar of a saber-toothed tiger, not the hidden threats of the digital age. We have forgotten how to read our environment. We blindly trust our safety to gadgets and social constructs. Nature just keeps upgrading its attack mechanisms, while we let our own defense tools slowly atrophy. Maybe our comfort is just an illusion, just a temporary breather in a world that never actually stopped being a battlefield. We have surrounded ourselves with sterile walls, but right outside our door, life is still raging, and every bush and bug is following its own invisible protocols. We are just guests in this system, a system that did perfectly fine without us before smartphones and will continue to function long after we're gone. Have we become so dependent on civilization that we've lost the ability to smell trouble, even when it's standing right in front of us, modestly rustling its leaves? Or has our survival instinct simply changed its shape? Maybe it has become just as invisible and complex as the poison in a plant's sap, quietly waiting for its moment in the silence of your garden.